I do try to eat some protein and fat before I go out.
No
not
way.
Not a lot, but a little bit. Just especially if I'm already hungry, because this is going to prevent me from overeating anything that I really shouldn't be overeating, and then I might feel bad afterwards. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 10 of the Clean Kitchen Podcast. Double digits, baby.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Kevin.
And Kevin, we just got back, I should say, from a trip. We went to Lake Norman, which is right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, the other week with our family for our dad's birthday. And it got me thinking, we should do a podcast episode all about the things I prepare for when traveling, and also the different things I bring with me and the things that I do while I'm on vacation in order to stay healthy.
Yep, exactly. I got to see firsthand exactly what you do. There's a lot of good tips and a lot of things that seemed easy to do and made a huge difference.
Yes. And we'll also talk about what I do when it comes to eating out. So not only eating out on vacation, but also just eating out in general.
Yep.
Yes. So we're going to talk about that a lot today. But before we go there, Kevin, we've been recording this podcast for over 2 months now.
Wild.
And, I'd say that you're a relatively healthy eater and just healthy in general when it comes to healthy habits. But you're not perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. But I understand that you have implemented some of the things that we've talked about, specifically 5 daily changes that you've made to your life that have had a dramatic impact on your life in a very positive way. So let's get right to it. What? You want to go from 5 to 1?
Let's do 5 to 1.
Okay. Is this in any specific order, or just in general?
I think that it's more general, but the last one is the best one, most impactful.
Okay, most impactful. Okay, I
Yes.
love that. So let's start with number 5. Give it to me. What is number 5?
So this is based on our sleep episode that we did, and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
But
that one had a lot of information.
That was
in
a lot
it.
of information.
Yes.
The one thing that really stood out to me that I was not doing was getting up consistently every single day. And now I am. So we talked about on that podcast that I have a different routine based on the day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get up at a certain time. Tuesday, Thursday, a different time. And I always felt more tired on Tuesday, Thursday. And I assumed it was because Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
The days you got up later.
The days I got up later.
You felt more tired.
Yes.
Okay. Keep going.
I struggled to wake up those days.
Okay.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get up early. I go to the gym, get a great start to my day. And I assumed, you know what? It's probably because I have something to do. It's go to the gym. And Tuesday, Thursday, I just didn't have that motivation to get up. So I challenged myself, practice what we preach here, to get up at the same time every day. So I get up early every day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
5:15.
5:15.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day.
Wow.
Yep. So I've gone to the gym Tuesday, Thursday occasionally. So not every time.
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm keeping the same schedule.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll just get up. I'll just sit outside for a little bit. Sometimes I'll play on Instagram. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I'll watch YouTube videos. I'll get a head start on work, or I'll read. I'll do something different. But I have been getting up at the same time every day, and it has made a huge impact.
Really? So you've noticed more energy?
Yes.
In the morning and throughout the day?
Yes.
Or just
in the morning? In the morning, it's most impactful.
Yeah.
Throughout the day, I never feel like I'm ever too sleepy, but in that morning, I get a great start to the day.
Yeah. And
more than that, too, is I don't struggle to get out of bed. That I could really feel the biggest difference.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it gets back to your circadian rhythm, your internal clock. So the more deliberate you are at what time you go to bed and what time you wake up, the more consistent you are with that, the more your body gets used to that. Just as an example, so at night, our body releases melatonin in order for us to feel tired, get sleepy, and eventually fall asleep and stay asleep. So when you're doing that on a consistent basis, your body basically just gets used to it, and it knows what time it's going to go to bed and what time it's going to wake up. Yep. So that's amazing.
It makes sense.
I love that.
Yeah, science worked.
Awesome. All right, that is number 5. What is number 4?
Number 4. So this goes back to the coffee episode that we did. And so we talked about...
And by the way, for those of you, if you haven't listened to these episodes, definitely go back, because there's a lot of good information in these episodes that Kevin's talking about.
That's a good point.
And clearly he's implemented a lot of that, which I love. I love this.
Yeah, a lot of things I didn't do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm learning, just like you guys.
Yes.
So for the coffee episode, we talked about how when you have coffee and it's the first thing that you have in your body in the day, then it can have some adverse effects. Maybe you feel a little bit more jittery, or your stomach just doesn't feel 100% right. And so that is what I do. The first thing I have every single morning is coffee. I don't have breakfast. And so I've added a fat to my coffee to help offset some of the side effects.
Which fat?
Ghee.
Ghee. Let's go. Grass-fed ghee.
Grass-fed ghee. Fourth and Heart.
Yeah, Fourth and Heart.
Fourth and Heart.
Yep.
I've never had ghee.
Shout out Fourth and Heart.
Yeah. I remember I went and got it the morning that I decided to do this.
Yes.
And I got home and I was all excited and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what to do. So I called Kyle.
Yeah, I remember you calling me. I was out. I was literally on the park bench getting my morning sunlight.
There you go.
Got my feet to the ground. Ground. By the way, grounding. That's another thing we have to talk about.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
I've heard you say it. Don't really know what it means.
Well, put that on the back burner. But yeah, I remember I was sitting out there and you called me and you're like, I got ghee here. I got my coffee. I have no idea what to do.
Yeah. I didn't know how much. I didn't know what the best method was.
Yeah.
And so Kyle talked me through it, coached me, and I just took a little bit of a spoonful and put it in.
Yeah.
And the first mistake I made was that I filled up my full cup of coffee and put the ghee in.
Yeah.
And then Kyle said, okay, now you want to mix it. And so I've got a little frother. So I put the frother in, and coffee splatters everywhere. I was like, okay, that was not it.
That happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
Still, to this day, that still happens to me.
Yeah. So we learned that lesson.
Yeah.
So now I just put in half of my coffee, add the ghee, froth it, and then top off the coffee.
Got it.
But when I first added the ghee and I took a sip, honestly, it didn't taste the best.
Yeah.
It was an adjustment.
Yeah.
And it was buttery, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But I would say after 3 or 4 days, I love the taste of it.
Really?
And I like it more than I did with just black coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you can still taste it with every
Definitely.
cup. It's not like you're getting used to it to the point where you can't taste it.
I taste it.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Wow.
So, but obviously the taste is great and it's good to get a fat. But what did I feel? Did I feel any different? Yes. I did. Yeah.
You did.
Sometimes, not every time.
Yeah.
When I have just coffee, I feel a little bit shaky or like I feel
just
jacked
like
up.
like wired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just feel, I gotta run or something. I don't feel that way, and I like not feeling that way.
Yes.
I don't want coffee to impact me like that.
Yeah. They say that putting fat in your coffee it leads to more sustained energy as opposed to exactly what you're describing, that quick jolt of energy, and with that comes jitteriness and wired feeling and not a feeling that people want.
Right.
So having fat in your coffee, it slows down the digestion of the caffeine, which then allows for longer lasting energy. And by doing that, you also are preventing a spike in insulin and then blood sugar crashing afterwards. So, I mean, I put butter in my coffee. I used to put ghee. Now I put butter.
Yeah.
I'd say if people out there, if you don't like the taste of ghee, I'd say try butter.
Might be a little more.
It's a little less taste, I guess I would say. But yeah, I like the taste of butter now. It's like, it almost makes it creamy.
Yes. I
creamy
love it
taste.
Now. It does.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of flavor.
So you're doing ghee. He does grass-fed ghee. I do grass-fed butter. You can also do something like coconut oil, unrefined extra virgin coconut oil, MCT oil. These are all good, healthy fats to put in your morning coffee.
And they'll all have the same impact as
Yes.
the ghee and butter.
Yes. Some of them have different health benefits. For example, ghee, since you're doing ghee contains something called butyrate, which is a short-chain fatty acid, which is very good for your gut. So that's a fantastic way to start your day. For example, coconut oil contains MCT. A lot of people are familiar with that, especially if you're in the keto community. MCT is great for your brain health. So these different fats have different benefits to them, but they all are the same in that they slow the absorption of caffeine, allowing for that longer lasting energy.
There you go.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah, I'm the host. I forgot. All right. Moving on to number 3. We have
morning sunlight.
Let's go.
So this one kind of goes together
I love
with the ghee.
morning sunlight.
Yeah. Or I guess this one goes together with getting up early, not the ghee.
This one
for me.
Yeah. This was the just so people know too, this was the sleep episode, right?
Yes,
Where we
it
talked about
was.
morning sunlight.
Yeah. Kyle famously said, in order to improve his better sleep, the first thing he does is in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've started to get outside in the morning more. typically I was someone that if I went to the gym, that was kind of the time out. And then I came back and went to work. It's just started. And now I've been going outside for just like 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, doesn't need to be long.
And sit out there. I'll have either my protein shake if I go to the gym or sip on coffee.
Yep.
And I just feel better.
Yep.
This one, it's tough to explain exactly, but you just feel better.
Yeah.
And why? Why do I feel better?
I don't even know if I have the right answer to that, but there's something about being in nature where we just feel more calm, more peaceful. And the sun, definitely, at least for me, when the sun hits my skin in the morning, it just feels amazing.
Yeah.
Like that morning sunlight, it's not too hot. It's just there's just something about it.
Yeah.
And you're right. I really don't know how to describe it, but it's a wonderful thing.
Do you do it when it gets cold now too?
I normally still,
do?
I still would go outside. Yeah.
Yeah. Try and get some sunlight.
Yeah.
Yep.
But and then it goes back to again the circadian rhythm again.
Yeah.
That's just helping your circadian rhythm, and eventually it will help you sleep better.
Yeah.
So
And one thing in line with that too is after I come back in, I'll try and leave the door open for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
To get some fresh air in.
yes.
So that's also a nice little touch.
Yeah.
When you walk by the door and it's open, it
Yeah.
just feels more welcoming.
Yes. And even like you can hear maybe some wind or
Yeah.
the bugs or the birds, like that, at least to me, is also calming.
Yes.
Like I keep this door open basically all day.
You do.
Yeah. I just turn my air off
Mm-hmm.
and leave the door open. I mean,
Sure.
it may get a little hot in here towards later in the afternoon, but for the most part, I just love being able to hear nature.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's soothing.
there's something, there's just something about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good change to make. Easy change to make.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So anything else on morning sunlight?
That's it.
All right. That is number 3. Let's move on to number 2, which is
Better snacks. And so I'll break that down a little bit.
this is a good one.
Yes. So almost every day, I'd say around 3 to 3:30, it's snack time for me.
Okay.
I just know that I get a little bit hungry at that point. Lunch is worn off.
Snack time.
Snack time. And I want a snack.
Yeah.
Typically, what I'd go for is some sort of sweet bar, like
Okay.
a Lara bar, or Target makes some good date bars.
Yeah,
that
the
I
Good and
enjoy.
Gather bars.
Good
Yeah.
and Gather.
They're basically like Laura bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not bad foods.
No. Basically just fruit and nuts.
Yeah. But I'd always still feel hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But like by 5 o'clock, I'd say I'd still feel hungry. That wouldn't necessarily fill me up.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked a lot about the impact that high fat foods can have on you, how satiating they are. Omega-6.
Yes.
Omega-6 fatty acids.
Yeah.
And,
Well, those are the bad ones.
oh, no, omega-3?
Omega
Delete
3.
this. Delete
No, I'm keeping that in.
Omega-3.
Omega 3 are the good
Dang.
ones.
Omega-3 fatty acids.
3 are the good ones. Remember, 3 and 9
3
are
and
the
9
good
are good.
ones.
6 is bad.
6 is bad.
Knew that.
That's okay. That's okay.
And I've replaced...
Do you remember? I guess we talked about that on multiple episodes, but is there a
Yeah.
specific episode that you learned fat was satiating? Was that from the milk episode, maybe?
That might have been from the milk episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel like we talked about omega-3 fats in almost every episode.
Yeah.
Are there omega-6 fats in vegetable oil?
Yes.
We talked about it in that too.
Yeah.
Then. And
That was probably the first episode then. But we really learned fat is satiating, I think, maybe from the milk episode. Anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway.
And so
Your point is.
I've replaced those date bar type snacks.
Yep. And not that those are bad.
No. With a lot of beef sticks.
Yes.
Love beef sticks.
My kind of snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll do a protein shake.
Mm-hmm.
Or chips and guac just to get some of the fat from avocados.
Yeah. Yes.
So I've replaced it with those, and I feel like I am way less hungry until 6:30. Then I'll start getting hungry, and at that point it's dinner time.
Yes.
So I feel like I feel a real impact of those extra fat that I'm getting at lunch or after lunch.
That's awesome. I mean, really, the main thing there is fat is satiating.
Yeah.
And that's, if you're going to have a snack, I recommend having some fat.
What's
for
your
sure.
go-to snack?
It's probably a beef stick.
Yep.
Or I really like midday squares.
Those are good.
You've had those.
I have had
Yeah,
those.
I love midday squares.
Those are delicious.
And those have fat, protein, and fiber. So it kind of hits all 3 buckets. And obviously beef sticks have protein and fat. So that's got 2 of them. People also say that fiber is satiating. Some people say it is. Some people say it isn't. I don't know if I can really tell a difference, but midday squares and beef sticks are my two go-to snacks.
Yeah.
That actually fill me up. I want something
Yeah.
that's going to fill me up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it. At least I see. Snack is like a bridge.
Yeah.
To the next meal.
Yeah. I like it. Okay.
And I also noticed you have a lot of bananas.
Yeah.
Is that a good snack for you too, or do you pair it with something?
I normally have bananas as my meal along with my meal. So for example, recently, and we can just briefly talk about this, I'm eating the past year or so, I've really upped the amount of beef that I've consumed. And by doing that, I've felt so many benefits. Better digestion, more energy, better sleep. I've put on 20 pounds of mostly muscle with not going to the gym any more than I used to be. So I thought, this is really interesting. So I've kind of shifted towards a more animal-based diet recently. Are you familiar with that?
A little bit.
So basically, an animal-based diet is meat, fruit, I guess honey and dairy, preferably raw dairy and preferably raw honey. And the last few weeks, I've been slowly transitioning more and more to this. And I'm eating less and less vegetables, which some of my listeners may not like to hear. But it's something I want to experiment with.
Yeah.
So an average meal for me, all that to say, an average meal for me nowadays is beef. I'll normally have some zucchini, which is actually a fruit. It's not a vegetable. And then I'll normally have a banana or two. And I'll also, on purpose, have the banana at the end of the meal to prevent a spike in blood sugar. Because when you have protein, fat, and fiber before or along with sugar, you're not going to have as much of a spike.
Yep.
So purposely, I'm having the banana last, or a couple bananas.
And you felt a difference.
Felt a difference. What do you mean?
You feel.
Oh.
In general, you feel better.
In general, yeah. Overall,
Yeah.
just I feel better eating this way. As opposed to, but I'd say over a year ago now, I was eating big salads with as much lettuce or arugula and a bunch of nuts and seeds and like maybe a little bit of sardines or tuna, as opposed to focusing on the protein and fat. And I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It just makes me feel way better.
Yeah. You got to do what feels best for you.
Exactly.
And you got to experiment to find that.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
So that was a long tangent, but
beef sticks.
Beef sticks. But beef sticks. Yeah. Love beef. All right. That is number 2. Let's get back on track here to number 1. What is it, Kevin?
Most impactful.
Yes.
I was very skeptical of this one. Cold showers.
Oh, yeah.
I did not want to do this. I think I thought about doing this for like a week before I did it.
I'm not going to lie. This one's not fun.
No.
It's not enjoyable.
No,
the other
it's not.
ones are kind of enjoyable.
Yeah.
This one's not.
No. Brooke, my wife.
Yeah.
Anytime I go and shower before her, and she basically hears me scream every morning because she knows it's time for that cold shower. And she knows it's coming because it's so cold. And the other thing I want to say, I've done all of these changes
hilarious.
one by one.
Yeah.
But this one did take the longest for me to get to.
Okay.
And I was, like I said, I was skeptical of it, but man, I feel so awake after walking out of that shower.
Like immediately after, you're just like, you take on the world.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I do my normal shower, and then at the end, just like we talked about.
Yeah.
I think on the sleep episode too, we talked about cold showers.
Another sleep episode.
That was a good episode.
There's a lot of good information in there. Yeah.
For 10 to 20 seconds, I crank it all the way to cold, and I just stand there and scream like a little girl.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, they actually say that cold plunges or cold baths or whatever you want to call them are easier than cold showers. Because the cold shower, you just have the water constantly hitting you.
Yeah.
And like, say you're standing there, you know, it's coming on, the water is hitting you on your front. You're standing there for a little while, and then like you maybe start to get used to it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then you turn around to your back, and you're like, oh my god.
That's what I was do you normally stand still, or what do you do?
Oh, I move.
The whole
circle,
the same
circle
the whole time.
Just constantly.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I do. And I know I'm doing it right now.
360. Constantly just going around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they say that And actually, I can attest to this. Now that I've done a cold plunge, I do think a cold plunge is easier in terms of it's less like, I don't know, less constant pain, I guess.
Yeah.
With the cold plunge.
The other thing with the cold shower too is you have to make the conscious decision that you're going to change it after you're having a nice comfortable shower. You're going to change it and you're going to ruin everything and make it cold.
Yeah.
The cold plunge is like it's going to be cold.
Yeah. You just go.
Maybe mentally it's different.
What's your tactic to turning it cold? Just slowly do it, or just all the way go. Yeah. You're just like you make the mental decision. You're like, all right, we're doing this, and you just go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'd say for 2 weeks it was hard.
Yeah.
To do it, but now I don't mind it as much. It's still cold.
Yeah.
But I think I've just gotten used to it.
Yeah. And not only, like you said, you feel more energy, but there's also doing this in the morning is going to improve blood circulation throughout your body, which is another benefit of cold plunges. It's going to help reduce stress. It's been associated with improving your mood, so like even less anxiety and depression. This has been linked to, and then ultimately improve your sleep as well.
Yep.
So a lot of benefits to cold exposure.
Yes.
Which we need to do a podcast episode on.
We will go deeper on that.
Yes. I love that. Okay. Awesome. Anything else there with the cold exposure?
I like it more now than I started.
Yeah.
And I am getting used to it.
Yeah, it's a good stress. And I've heard other people talk about this, but it's kind of like when you do that and then you have other stressful situations throughout the day, they're just less of a problem.
Yeah.
Because you've conquered something very difficult first thing in the morning.
Yep.
Especially when you can do that on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do.
No, definitely not easy. Have you heard the term eat the frog?
Eat the frog? No.
I don't know where the term came from, but it effectively means doing the hardest thing first in your day.
Okay.
So for a lot of people at work, you try and do the hardest thing first.
Yeah.
And you eat the frog. You just get it over with.
Like it's almost the most like
it's like occupying the most space in your mind.
Yeah.
Like you're putting it off. You don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You just do it first. And then the rest of the day seems easier because you've done the hardest thing first.
Yeah.
Kind of like that a little bit.
It is. Yeah, definitely.
Similar mentality.
I think you're setting yourself up for success.
Yeah. So a lot of those things we talked about there, all of them actually, went one by one. And I kind of had to make the conscious effort to do that thing that we had talked about.
Yes.
And so, the takeaway there is don't feel overwhelmed that you have to do these all at once. You absolutely do not. Did them slowly.
One at a time.
Yep. And you're making that conscious effort, which is exactly what I want to talk about next. And that's about making the conscious effort to prepare and set yourself up for success when you travel. Traveling can be hard for a lot of people because you're in a new environment. You don't have your go-tos with you. And so you might default to quote unquote cheating or doing things that might not be the best for you. So I want to start with just your general mentality for how to stay healthy when you travel.
Yeah. Well, going into vacation or, it could be for work purposes as well, where you're traveling for work. I go in with the mindset of I'm not going to be perfect and I'm most likely not going to eat perfect while I'm away. And that's okay. Yeah. I think in the beginning of this, when I really got into health and nutrition and living a healthy lifestyle, I was very hard on myself when I went on vacation or was traveling somewhere for work. And I would really try 100% to stay on track and not deviate from the diet that I was on at the time. And I think that only made things worse by obsessing over every little detail. Because then, for example, say I have my stomach starts hurting randomly, and then I'm thinking, oh, I ate that for dinner last night. I never eat that, blah, blah, blah. And then my mind is going all over the place, and that's just not a good thing.
Yep.
So now I've changed my mentality. I'm like, I'm not going to be perfect, and that's okay. And I think that alone really helps. So when I go into vacation, I still try to have this, I'm still going to try to eat healthy. I'm not throwing everything out the window.
Yep.
But I'm not going to be perfect. So as we've talked about in previous episodes, 80, 20, 90, 10 rule. This is where the 10 or the 20 is going to come into play when I'm traveling.
Yeah. You put so much effort into what you put into your body when you're at home. You're thinking about it so much that it's okay to have that 90-10 rule that we
Yes.
talk about.
Yes.
And that works all right.
Yep.
So I think one thing that really stood out to me just when we went to the lake
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago was whenever you got up,
Yeah.
you got outside
Yeah.
with your AG1
Yes.
and you walked out on the pier and just got morning sunlight. You stood
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Barefoot.
wow. Barefoot.
Yeah.
Grounding.
Yeah. Grounding.
And I was like, wow. Like he's still doing the things that he always does
Yes.
here. And that seems to be something that you try to incorporate.
I think sticking to the same morning routine,
Yeah.
at least for me, it's important, and it again, it sets the tone for the day.
Yeah.
So I did the same exact thing in the morning as I normally would if I was home.
Yeah. It
And
was
that- yeah.
cool to see.
And that's wake up, take a shower, turn it cold, last few seconds,
Mhm.
go outside, drink my AG1, sunlight, feet on the ground.
Yep.
Have a little bit of water, and then have my coffee with butter.
With butter. There you go. The other thing too, along with eating, and we'll talk about supplements too here shortly, but the other thing is working out is a lot different when you're traveling. You don't have your normal gym or your normal at-home equipment. Do you have an approach there for exercise when you're traveling?
Well, it's nice when you stay at a hotel or something and they have a gym that you can go to. We stayed at an Airbnb, so we didn't have access to that.
Yeah.
I didn't really do anything. I maybe cranked out some push-ups at some point on the vacation, but besides that, I mean, it's more of just doing fun activities. Like we did kayaking, and we didn't really go on any long walks or anything, did we?
No.
No. But it's trying to find fun activities that where you're still exercising, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hiking, kayaking,
Yeah.
getting outside.
Yeah.
Hopefully when you're traveling, you're getting outside more too.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're at the beach, spending
Yeah.
more time
Yeah.
outside. But you're forgetting about one activity that we did do.
Oh,
when we
golf?
traveled. Well, we did golf too, yeah. We
Oh,
did a family exercise.
Oh, the family workout.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that Carly made us do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was something that was different, never done before.
Yeah.
But we did like a family yoga on steroids. I forget what the name of it was.
Oh, is that what it was called?
Yoga Pilates?
I mean, that makes sense because that's
Yeah.
basically what it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was fun.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah, it was hard.
But it was fun to do it as a family, as
Yeah.
a type of workout.
Yeah, you may have seen it on my sister, our sister,
Yeah.
Carly's clean kitchen. No, what is her thing?
Clean Carly living.
Clean living Carly.
Clean Living Carly. Shout out Clean Living Carly.
Shout out Carly. You may have seen that on her story, but yes,
Yeah.
we did a family workout,
We did.
which was intense.
That was.
My butt was sore after.
It was?
Yeah, like squats. I don't know what we were doing, like squats and lunges.
It was a lot of lunges.
Yeah.
And we did a plank competition at the end. Do you know who won that?
I knew you were gonna bring this up. I knew.
I forget who won. I won.
I don't practice planks. All right, I don't practice planks.
So we talked about working out and your mentality.
Yeah.
The next thing, you had your AG1. What other supplements are you bringing with you,
Yeah.
if any?
It's the normal supplements that I take every day. My probiotic, which is seed. I take my Armor colostrum, magnesium, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you bring everything with you.
Yep.
Is there anything that you take that you would not take when you're at home?
The only thing that I would say I take extra would be maybe some magnesium.
Why is that?
So magnesium, first of all, is very, 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 very important. I think most Americans and most people in general are deficient in magnesium. Magnesium plays a role in more than 600 reactions in the human body. So things like energy production, bone health, nerve function, muscle relaxation, and so many more. So I think it's an important thing for people to take in general. But specifically if you're traveling on an airplane, which we didn't, but if you're traveling on an airplane, you tend to get more dehydrated and maybe you're just drinking less liquids in general. So they recommend you have more electrolytes, and magnesium is an electrolyte. So that's one reason I had kind of read that a while ago. So I always just kind of take a little bit more magnesium when I'm traveling. Also, sometimes people can have a lot of digestive symptoms when they're traveling, whether that be because they're eating something they're not used to, or really anything. Maybe they're a little bit more stressed because they have a lot to do and they're planning all these different things. But some people have diarrhea, and some people can also have constipation when they're traveling. So magnesium is just another tool if you do have constipation to kind of help move things along.
Got it. One other thing, too, that I think a lot of people do more of when they're traveling is consume alcohol.
Yeah.
When you're traveling, you're having a good time, you're having fun, you're out maybe with family or friends, and naturally alcohol comes into play a bit more. Anything that you think about there when in terms of just consuming more alcohol than you normally would?
I'd say just trying to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
So like maybe drinking some water in between, maybe drinking some electrolytes even, making sure you're drinking water before you go to bed and not ending your night with a beer or a glass of wine or whatever.
Yeah.
I had a glass of wine, I think one of the nights we
Yeah.
were there. I just made sure to drink some water after. I had my electrolytes earlier in the day. So I think it's just try to stay hydrated as much as you can.
That's a good point. Especially if you're going to a beach, you're going to get dehydrated from the sun.
Being outside all day.
Yeah.
Yes.
So consume water
Yeah.
a lot.
Yes.
Good point there. Next topic I want to move to then is food. So when you're traveling, obviously it depends where you're going, but you're not going to have your normal staples. You're not going to be able to
Well,
are you?
Don't speak too fast. Don't speak too fast
We'll
there, buddy
see.
boy.
Yeah. So I guess what is your approach then with food when you're traveling?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends where I'm going.
Mhm.
Do you want to use this vacation as an example?
Yeah, let's use it as an example.
Okay, so I knew ahead of time that there was going to be a kitchen there. So automatically I'm like, all right, I'm bringing ground beef because I can cook it up.
Yep.
So I brought some ground beef. I knew that we were going to be getting groceries when we got there, so I didn't bring any zucchini or anything like that, but I brought some bananas. And then I also brought my usual snacks. I got some beef sticks, my midday squares. We brought some 7 Sunday cereal as a little dessert for later in the night. Simple Mills cookies, snow days. What was the question?
Yeah. Doesn't seem too hard. Well, honestly, when we walked into this house, because we got there a little bit after Kyle and Carly too set up,
Yeah.
the counter was just filled with all these healthy snacks.
Yeah.
So it was easy once we got there. But most people are not going to be traveling with Kyle.
Yes.
So what can most people do? What are some things that they can bring with them, or what should they think about with just food?
Well, I would say first off, think are you going to be able to cook where you are?
Yeah.
And then I mean, like, are you saying choose like specific things that I would absolutely have to take,
Or
with
just
me?
like what you think about, like, right? You mentioned when we got there, one of the first things you knew that you were going to do is go to a grocery store. I think that can set yourself up for success rather than, oh no, we don't have any food here. We'll just go out and get something.
Right. Yeah.
So
I think if you are able to go to the grocery store, we even used Instacart, which is super easy.
Yeah.
You just order your groceries to your house and then it's basically there by the time you get there. I mean, yeah, we just ordered like the foods that I would normally eat. So we got eggs, we had beef, we got zucchini, we did hibachi one night. We also got some siete wraps and we did some ham and cheese and what did we do? Ham, egg, and cheese on some English muffins.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, we just went and bought all the normal healthy stuff.
Yep. And that was great for us. We had a kitchen. What
Yeah.
if you don't have a kitchen though?
Yeah, then it's a lot tougher. The go-to snacks that I bring on anywhere are bananas and beef sticks. Why? I just love those things and they fill me up and they're delicious. So that's what I would recommend bringing. But I think the takeaway there is really just be prepared. Like bring snacks. You can always overpack snacks and then not eat them and then bring them back. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I always try to overpack. So just be prepared. Bring the snacks that you like.
Set yourself up for success.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense. And when you're traveling too, on top of bringing what you can, you tend to just eat out more.
Yes.
You're in a new place. You want to try new foods. Encouraged to do that. What's your general tips? Like what's a few tips that you have for
Yes.
eating out?
First off, I want to say there is a new app that is called, and I have no affiliation with this company. I just think they're doing amazing things. It is called Seed Oil Scout. Seed Oil Scout.
Okay.
Type that in.
Yep.
App Store or wherever you download your apps from. It is an app, and they're working on it still, but it tells you restaurants near you. It'll basically, you open the app and it's a map, and it'll be a bunch of different restaurants, and you can click on the restaurant and you can see if they do or do not use seed oils. And when I say seed oils, I basically mean vegetable oils, vegetable oils, canola, soybean, sunflower, safflower oil, all of those.
Yep.
Grapeseed oil. You can see if they use them, and if they do or do not, which dishes they're in or not.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Very cool.
So they only have, I think a lot of it now is just users of the app are finding this information, and then they're like basically telling the employees of the app, like, hey, this restaurant uses this oil. Or whatever.
It's crowdsourcing it somehow.
Yes.
That's what I was going to ask you, how they're getting the information.
Yeah. I'd say they're doing their own.
Yeah.
They're putting it in, but I think a lot of it is the users helping out.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And because I downloaded this a few months ago, and I thought, oh, this is awesome. And then I looked around me, and there was like only maybe a handful of restaurants in the area that actually that it was on there. But I think this is going to be a fantastic resource to use.
Yeah. We should go a bunch of restaurants and fill this thing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put some good back in.
Yeah. The problem is, I assume most restaurants use bad oils.
Yeah.
But another good feature of the app is like, because someone will go there and they'll be like, hey, can you cook my whatever it is? Can you cook my steak in butter instead of vegetable oil? And then they'll be like, yeah. So then they'll put on the app, ask waiter to cook in butter instead of vegetable oil, and they'll do it. Like they'll allow for that substitute. So
crowdsourcing eating right, eating healthy. I love that.
Yeah. And they even really talking about this app a lot, but I really do think it's a great app. They have basically an email template on there. So you go on the app and say you're going to a new restaurant and you want to email them ahead of time. So you email them and you say, hey, someone in my party is severely allergic to vegetable oils, canola, soybean, safflower, blah, 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 oils. Is there anything on your menu that is seed oil free?
Yep.
So
very cool.
And it's just like it's a template. All you have to do is open it up and you press send. So it's not
nice.
oh, what should I say? Like how do I ask them? Like do I call them? You know, it's just template, boom, send, and then they'll send you a response back and let you know.
Easy.
Yeah.
You know if there's a company behind this?
I assume the company was Seed Oil Scout.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's another company.
Yeah, I don't know.
That created the app.
They DM'd me on Instagram. That's how I found them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to start.
Yeah.
What else are you looking for when you're eating out?
Well, actually, there's a few things I do before I even go to the restaurant. And one of those things is I do try to eat some protein some protein and fat before I go out.
No
way. Not a lot, but a little bit, just especially if I'm already hungry. Because this is going to prevent me from overeating anything that I really shouldn't be overeating, and then I might feel bad afterwards. Another good example of this is if you go to like a Mexican restaurant or something and you show up hungry and you can eat like 5 baskets of chips.
Been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
Most people have.
Yeah.
So just showing up, not full by any means, but just having a little bit of protein and fat beforehand. This can be an egg. This can be a beef stick.
Yeah.
We're talking about beef sticks a lot this episode, but some leftover chicken, some yogurt, whatever. Something with a little bit of protein and fat just to fill you up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you go out to dinner.
I'm having flashbacks just while you were talking about that. There's a local burger place that we go to, and I know that if I go hungry, I get a burger, fries, and a milkshake.
Oh.
And I leave.
Cookout?
No.
Oh.
Cookout's good too. But I leave.
Wait, where is it?
Bad Daddy's.
Oh, Bad Daddy's.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I leave disgustingly full.
I didn't know they had milkshakes.
They have delicious milkshakes. They really do. But I can definitely relate to this one a lot, is overeating at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's also, it just feels like it's a bigger portion size.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and then you just feel terrible afterwards.
Yep. And then, okay, so now you've decided that you're eating a little bit before. Is there anything else, too, that you're doing before you actually get to the restaurant?
I'd say if I know where we're going, I'm going to look at the menu ahead of time just to see what the options are. Maybe even call ahead if I'm really, now we've talked about this previously, but I'm not as much of a stickler for when I'm eating out. I kind of just go with the flow. But some people are, really sensitive to certain things or allergic to certain things. So look at the menu and even call the restaurant ahead. Ask if they can do a certain substitution, whether that be for an oil or, a gluten-free bun or something like that.
Yeah. And what are you looking for on that menu when you're looking at it?
Just something that I like.
Which is?
For me, it's normally steak.
Normally steak, yeah.
Like steak and veggies.
Yep. So that's normally what you're looking for.
Is normally what I go for, yeah.
And if not steak and veggies, what would be another option?
I guess maybe chicken or salmon.
Yeah.
I always so I stopped eating bread so long ago that I don't like sandwiches, burgers. That just doesn't even interest me. Like it doesn't fill me up, doesn't make me feel good. I just don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
So, and when I'm going out, it's really simple. I'm either looking for steak, chicken, or some sort of fish, maybe.
Yep.
Because those are the foods that I like. They fill me up. They make me feel good.
Yep. No, you got to find what works for you.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a good one.
Yeah, and then so I'll normally look for a steak or something, but then a side, normally a safe side is steamed vegetables. It's normally pretty safe. A lot of restaurants also have fruit. Maybe you can get a side of fruit.
Yep.
So
one thing too I've seen you have before, if we're at like a sports bar, is wings. You have a lot of wings.
Yes.
And you do something very specific. Sauce on the side.
Sauce on the side. Plain wings, sauce on the side.
Yeah.
The sauce is where they get you. There's a lot, any sauce, not just wing sauce, but this can even be salad dressings. So any sauce or condiment is most likely filled with vegetable oils and sugar. So I try to avoid that when I can. And I do go for plain wings with no sauce. Fun fact for you: Buffalo Wild Wings, which we've been to before.
Oh yeah,
when we were
was there
traveling
Tuesday night.
Okay. Oh, and a draft.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say why you have Buffalo Wild Wings, but draft. That's okay. How's your team?
I think we'll be okay.
I
think
got
we'll get there.
You got Mahomes though, right?
We got Mahomes.
Okay, nice.
Patty.
Nice. Oh, Buffalo Wild Wings. They fry their wings in beef tallow.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, that seems rare.
Very rare.
Very rare.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it the first time I saw it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they fry their wings in beef tallow. So that's what I got. I got plain wings. I got mild sauce on the side. I did use a little bit of the sauce every now and then. I would dunk a little bit in there, but it's much better to get plain wings and then use an appropriate amount of sauce as opposed to getting the sauce dumped all over it.
Yeah.
And you're getting all those horrible ingredients. And I looked at the ingredients in Buffalo Wild Wings sauces. They are atrocious.
Well, maybe we'll do a separate deep dive on that. That's tough.
Okay.
That's tough for me.
What'd you have on Tuesday?
I had a buffalo chicken sandwich.
Ah, jeez.
The bread and the sauce.
With fries?
With fries. I have to do it.
That's okay.
Yeah, I have to do it.
That's okay.
Yeah. So it seems like a lot of times you'll try and make certain customizations if you can.
Yeah.
So do you normally talk to the waiter and ask about these certain things?
Occasionally I'll ask, hey, what is this cooked in? Can you cook it in something else?
Yeah.
But besides that, it's not a whole lot for me.
And they're normally pretty accommodating?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yep.
All right. So those are great tips there for eating out. What's your closing thought on just the approach to eating out?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Eating out is tough. It's hard to eat out and eat perfect, which is why you can really just do the best you can.
Yep.
Move on, and then hopefully all those other meals that you're cooking in your own home are delicious and nutritious. So that's about all I got for you.
Perfect.
Yeah. Is that where we're ending it?
That's where we're ending it.
All right, we're going to end it there. That is episode 10 of the Clean Kitchen Podcast. We will see you next week in episode 11.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya. I think that one plays.
That'll work.
That'll work.